Are you wondering if you need a website for your handmade artisan business? Well, today we're going to be diving to 10 things that you really need to consider before making that leap and really looking at all the options available. My name's Lena and I'm the very proud owner of Made It. Well, we have over 750 artisans on the platform, and it's my personal mission and purpose to be able to really guide you and help you simplify your journey online so that you can get the results that you truly want as a handmade artisan. Today we're going to be going through 10 key aspects for you to really consider before you dive into getting your own website, because there's so many things that go into it, and if that's the direction that you're going to go right now, then it's important that you know what you're jumping into. The first aspect to consider when you're looking at building your own website or having your own website is really about the time investment that it takes, because as a small business owner, we are pulled in so many different directions, and perhaps this is still a bit of a side hustle for you as well. So you will find that your time becomes that precious commodity that you really want to learn how to protect that in the business. So you want to make sure that anything that you're putting all of your time and energy into is really going to get you the results. And now, is that a website? Perhaps, but when we go into the next elements, there might be other areas in which you can focus on first before you dive into getting your own website. We have all seen those hooks where it's like, build your website for $1. Now, is that the truth? Let's say kind of. That's what's going to open the door, but it's not what's actually going to get you to the stage where you've got a website that you're really proud of. There are so many costs that go into building a website that when you're looking at it long term, you can absolutely see the benefits, but in the short term, it may not be where you need to spend your money yet, right? Because it's not just about the actual setup of the website where you might be purchasing a template, for example, but it might be some of the little bit of code tweaking that might need to happen to make sure that emails are going to the right place. It might be about your domain name and making sure that you've got that all set up properly in order for it to point in the right direction. There's all of the little add-on bits when it comes to a website in that setup stage, but also ongoing, because remember, your website is a living and breathing space, which means that you need to be able to continue to put into it resources, which is time, money, and of course the products that you want to promote. I absolutely love technology, but I know that for the majority of handmade artisans, technology is not always your best friend. So it's worth considering when you're thinking about creating a website, because there is an element of tech, a fairly large element of tech, that you're going to need to embrace but also learn about. I know that we think that we can go, it's okay, I'm just going to outsource it. But as a small business, it's never quite as smooth as that. There's going to be those times where you need to be able to dip back in and actually be able to fix things on the fly. So if technology is not something that you want to be spending a lot of extra time on, you may want to delay that thing of going into your own website. A really common misconception with having your own website is that it's actually going to bring you customers. Now, that's not what the functionality of a website is. A website is more like, if you think about it really as a live catalog, it's a tool that you can use in order to be able to actually process the sales, but it's not how sales will be generated. So if you're at that point and you're thinking, do I need a website? What does it look like? My suggestion would always be, learn how to make and create the sale first, because having the website will not be the tool to actually create the sale. As creatives, and when we're first starting out in business, there's this real excitement and urgency that comes about with that, where we want to have everything done right away. But my suggestion is, especially when you're just starting out, is to let your brand evolve a bit before you actually jump into building a website. You know, thinking about your brand colors, thinking about the imagery that you like to use, thinking about all those pointers that are really recognizable as your style before you go to that stage of building your own website, because that's going to make the process a lot easier when you get there. When I first started my fashion label, there were really limited options as to how you could actually sell products. Fast forward to 2024, and there are so many different options for you to be able to sell your creations online. It doesn't have to be through your own website. Now, if we're talking about long term, what's the ideal goal? Then yes, of course, you're going to be wanting to have your own website. But what do you need right now? And with so many options, such as selling through amazing marketplaces such as Made It, it, check it out below. But also even through social media directly, or perhaps it's through other options that you've got, there really is an endless amount. So dive in and have a look at those options and weigh up the costs, weigh up the time, and think about what's the best option for you right now. When you're thinking about creating your own website, one of the things to consider as well is that things are constantly changing in the world of tech, in the world of online. So if you're spending a whole lot of time building your website out right now, it's going to be something that you need to keep monitoring and that you need to keep on top of. You know, the benefits of going into, say, a marketplace like Made It is that you're not needing to worry about those aspects. We look after all those parts so that you can really just focus on uploading your products, connecting with your customers, and connecting your customers with the right products. And that's really the gold of being able to sell online. One of the best ways to simplify and amplify your journey online as a handmade artisan is to know your customer really well. And you don't need a website in order to do that. It's about you taking the time to really connect with your customers, whether they're coming through on a marketplace or whether they're coming through to you on social media, and that you're taking the time to actually dig in and understand who is it that's actually buying from me. And once you're able to really get that knowledge and that insight, you can use that information and leverage that information wherever it is that you're selling. And you don't need to have that website in order to be able to get that crucial information first. I'm sure we've all got accounts that we follow that have thousands of followers, right? And we're like, oh my goodness, their business must be booming. Not necessarily. And this is something that I would really say that my hot tip as far as knowing when is the right time to get a website, it's when you understand how to sell online, because you don't need a website in order to be able to do that. Creating sales is creating connection. So it's about understanding what is the ways that I can actually connect with my customer, whether it's through social media or whether it's in person, and understanding what is the point at which they decide to actually purchase from you. And when you know that, and when you're able to repeat that process on multiple occasions, that's a great indicator that you're ready to have your own website. Question: are you actually ready to have your own website yet? Now, without even thinking about it, there would have been a yes or no that came softly into your mind, into your hearing, into your thoughts that said yes or no. And I really want to encourage you to lean into that and know that just because you may not be ready to have your own website right now, that doesn't mean that you won't have an amazing one in the future. But it's really important that you have that awareness about what stage of the journey that you're on and what stage is right for you right now. So take that moment to really sit and ask your question: are you ready for a website right now? If you're already selling your handmade products online, or perhaps you're getting ready to sell your handmade products online, the number one thing that you will need is amazing images. So click on the link below to get our free image guide so that you can really amplify the images that you're getting and really make that connection with customers through beautiful images that tell the story of your amazing products. If you've made it right to the end, thank you. I'm so glad that you're here. And if you're liking this content and you're really wanting to simplify and amplify your journey online as a handmade artisan, I'd love to invite you to like, subscribe, follow, all the things, and you'll be seeing us here each week so that we can really guide you on how to have an amazing journey online.